Welcome to Homemaker Small Garden, early June. 3 months or so since we were here, so much has happened. It's been a really difficult spring. It's been duller than usual. More than anything, that's been the outstanding feature, lack of light. And then rain and slugs and snails. So not everything has gone as I would have hoped, but actually a lot has. So I hope this will encourage you, what you can see here and what you can achieve in quite a small space. This is 1/10 the area of a full-size allotment in the UK. It's 25 square meters, and I've growing on average 10 to 12 different vegetables in roughly 1 meter square blocks on each bed. So broad beans, for example, these were sown direct from home saved seed on the 1st of December, a little bit later than I normally sow them, but you can see they're doing all right. They maybe not the strongest. Everything on this side of the garden is a little bit diminished by the shade from that shed. And then also roots from the trees on the further corner of that garden and in the neighbour's garden. But considering that, I'm happy with the harvest. That's Aquadulce Claudia. And it had some mustard growing amongst it, which is now history. Here I did an interplant where we had lamb's lettuce cropping through the winter. Fantastic harvest of winter salad. And I left it long enough to collect some seed. So I left about 15 plants, maybe more than I needed actually, and got that much seed. And it's not a huge amount, but actually I'm pretty pleased with it considering the weather. I harvested it one evening when I wasn't expecting to, because I noticed it was suddenly dropping despite the weather. It has somehow dried enough. There's quite a few seeds on the ground, so there will be many volunteer plants, which is okay. And when I harvested those lamb's lettuce to collect the seed, I was just staggered by how many slugs were hiding under the damp leaves around the strawberry plants. Well, I cut them all. I've lost it a bit with slugs and snails this spring. And the numbers now, I would say, are much lower. We've had a lot of slug damage, but by constant patrols, removing or cutting, they're definitely under control, dare I say that. And these are a later strawberry. You're going to see in a minute, beautiful strawberries ripe. So now we have a bit of space there where there was chard, so that just last week that finally rose up so much that it wasn't making any worthwhile leaves. So I twisted out, and that's going to be some kind of autumn brassica we'll plant this week. Beetroot, not brilliant. This corner's always been the weakest in the garden from shade and tree roots. But we're going to get some harvest, I reckon, soon, later than normal. And these also, this is going to be an interesting challenge because the radish that were here were okay. They weren't brilliant. Quite a bit of slug damage. This is Borlotti beans, which I transplanted about 10 days ago. And there's one or two just keep getting nibbled and I replant. So I don't know if they're going to make it. And basically this is a plant that needs warmth and sun, so we'll see. I'm hoping they will come up to the top, and that would be for dry beans if they grow well. Here's another nice gap, which is waiting for a cucumber plant. It's still cold though. Yes, unusually cold spring at the moment, or early summer I should say. Like this morning it's 4 degrees, that's 39 Fahrenheit. So I'm not in any rush to put out cucumbers. Cucumbers are very warmth demanding, much more than tomatoes. So if you haven't planted cucumbers yet, there's still time. It's maybe a bit late for sowing, but like ASAP if you still haven't. And these are puzzling me a little because the cabbage that were here have all finished, but the cauliflower continues to grow and they're looking very well. But I'm not yet seeing any little cauliflowers in there. So that's another 2 weeks, which will take away a bit from the courgette plant here. So I planted courgette. It'll just be a later harvest as long as it keeps going. If it got dry, I would keep watering just the courgette, not the cauliflower. That can help them to develop more. And I don't know how well this is going to turn out. These are some black potatoes I was given. It was a really nice present. And I put them between the cabbage. So they weren't growing that fast at the beginning because the cabbage was still pretty strong. And the cabbage came out about 10 days ago. So now the potatoes have it all for themselves. If they don't get blight and can keep growing, this could be a worthwhile harvest, but I'm just not expecting a huge amount. We did a big clear out here. This was so worthwhile just 2 days ago. I've been looking at it for a while and thinking, oh, what a mess. And it was an old cold frame pallets, useful for storing things on, but always a lot of slug damage from slugs and snails hiding under the pallets. And sure enough, Adam did it, and boy, did he find a lot of snails there. So that's now clear and clean. And you can see I've got some plants against the wall. That's more or less south facing that wall, so there's some warmth. And I put butternut squash there because they struggle in the outdoor garden here. They need more heat than other types of winter squash. So I'm hoping that might make a difference. And one tomato plant just to see the bush of bay, which is doing nicely. In fact, the other tomato plants are here, and they're looking a lot better than they were. They struggled at first. It was too cold. The leaves were yellow. That happens when you put out warmth-loving plants, but it's still cold temperature, because they can't. It's not that the soil is short of nitrogen or anything from the yellow leaves. It's because it's not cold enough, it's not warm enough for the roots to access the nutrients that are there. So these are now greening up, well, with some recent warmth. We had a 23-degree day on Sunday. They'll hang in there. Basically, they're not going to grow really fast for a while, but I'm hoping these will crop by August probably. While the lettuce have been actually really poor. It's the first time it's happened to me. Normally lettuce grow like anything here so easily. They were just too attacked by slugs, and I didn't dare to put a fleece on because sometimes that can harbour a slug population underneath the fleece where you can't see them, and it would have really made a difference. I guess I just didn't quite have time to fully look after them. So we're picking leaves there. We've had about just under a kilo so far, but nothing like normal. Okay, this is the high spot of the garden tour today. Strawberries, marshmallow. Marshmallows are really top variety for flavour. Very sweet, and it's one you will never find to buy because it doesn't have shelf life. But for a garden, wow, you can see the quality, the potential quality. And I've been not picking it. Normally I would have picked some of these, but I wanted to show you on the video, and I've been nervous because leaving fruit like this, you know, are they going to get eaten? And actually, you can see the kind of thing that can happen. It's not catastrophic, but there's a little bit of slug damage. There's a hole in that one. And, well, I'm going to pick them very shortly. So these are now in their third year, which is coming peak time for strawberries. They've been slow though, and they could easily go on for another year or two, but what I need to do is thin out the runners that will soon be developing, the new plants, because otherwise you get so many plants that you just get a thicket of leaves, actually quite a few more slugs. So I've been working on these and removing older leaves as well, potential slug habitat, keeping it tidy. And you can see they're on compost, not on straw. It's often said, oh, you must put them on straw because that keeps them clean. Well, actually, this is okay. Yeah, compost doesn't, it's not dirty like soil is. It sort of makes a lovely soft surface which does not go all mushy in rain. And I'm very happy actually with what I'm seeing here. A straw would encourage slugs, so do bear that in mind. And I reckon just keep the soil open for strawberries. So these are cropping now. That's marshmallow, and then Florence over there, which were planted only last summer, should crop later. Just to finish on the fruit, actually, they're like, wow, this is a jostaberry that I was given planted last summer by Susie. Thank you. And it's really looking good, promising. Should fruit next year, I hope. And actually against the wall there's a berry which has a few fruit. It's where the fig was. It still puzzles me a bit, that wall. It's not going quite as much as I would have hoped. While I've got a new fig tree and that really is cropping nicely, but in a different location. So I hope you've enjoyed this tour, and you can see there's plenty to come this summer. Although it is summer already, we're only less than halfway through the season. So take courage from this. There's still a lot of things you can sow and plant. Check out my sowing timeline and calendar, and I hope your harvest will be good.